history is not going to be on the side of those companies that didn't invest enough to move into the new world quickly enough, and probably are not going to be a big force moving forward. So one of the things that I did find interesting, I didn't know that a stock could be, or that 140% of the float of a stock could be short. That was a surprise to me. And so I think that hedge funds or whomever is shorting, it's not just hedge funds, there are all kinds of investors shorting out there. It's going to be interesting to see if they will stay or if they will move to such what I believe was an outrageous position relative to the float out there. So kind of, in a way, they might have seen this coming. And I do know that the one firm that got in trouble was, I guess, the Reddit folks were focused on the listed puts of the, now, what's unfortunate about that is they probably don't know much about OTC puts, over-the-counter puts. Those are opaque. They can't see them. All this move will do is push all of that market over the counter, which is extremely profitable for banks, but it's more expensive for the end investors. So it's a little unfortunate. I, as an investor, I always like to hear the other side of the argument. And that's the other unfortunate thing that's going on here, I think. There are people now afraid to talk about why they're bearish on certain stocks. If during our Tesla 2019 experience, if we didn't have the cacophony of investors, sell side, buy side, retail, institutionals, putting down Tesla, we wouldn't have gotten the opportunities to buy it that we did. And we wouldn't have understood how much those investors did not understand what was going to move the stock. That helped us. And if their voices are shut down, I think that will be doing a disservice to all investors, because I want to know, what are the arguments against this position? Clearly, we're missing something, but we weren't when it came to Tesla.
So let's talk about it. I mean, your big call on Tesla, you've been proven right there. For your big ideas for 2021, you write about, you've got number 7 electric vehicles and number 9 autonomous ride hailing. So we've had news this week from Faraday Future going public in a SPAC. We've got GM's announcement to go all electric by 2035. What's your outlook for EV? And could you imagine Ark investing heavily in names other than Tesla, giving some of this news that we have coming out?
Well, we're looking, because if we're right, this market is going to go from 2.2 million sales, that's units, in 2020, it might be 2.3, to 40 million in 2025. So all of these announcements have increased our confidence that the capital markets are going to finance this transition from internal combustion engine to electric. That's great. Who is going to be leading the charge, so to speak? We still think it is Tesla, certainly in the United States. Even in China, Tesla is the #1 brand. Now, the smaller vehicles in China, there is a company, I've forgotten its name. It might be associated with SAIC and GM, by the way, that is pulling ahead, but that's not counted as a true electric vehicle. These are the ones that go 25 miles an hour, golf cart types of things. So we think that China might hold the secret as to the next big winners. We know that NIO, we do not own NIO, it's a battery swapping company. So instead of charging, they swap batteries. That is going to win the day. We think that XPeng, which we do not own, but which is emulating Tesla, might, we're seeing, and we do own in our more specialized strategies, BYD was a battery manufacturer to begin with, and Warren Buffett has owned for many years a piece of BYD. That has done very well. We own that. And then Geely, which bought Volvo, and I believe the chairman of Geely owns a position in Daimler. It is also doing a lot of interesting things in terms of partnering with various companies, including Baidu. So if I had to give you which of the Chinese names we have the highest conviction in, it's probably Baidu. And that had been a hard sell for me because their search business was falling apart. And it did seem to me, with more than 150 or 200 electric vehicle manufacturers, many being government subsidized, that there would be a bloodbath. And Baidu's, the government has deemed it the autonomous platform for China. We weren't sure whether to believe that or not, or if it would get caught up in the carnage, but it does seem to be doing something very interesting. And there's also another company called AutoX. This is more, they're working with Dongfeng, which is mostly involved in the trucking space. But we did take note that AutoX has gotten approval from California to go fully autonomous there. I didn't know that until very recently, so that could be another one to watch.
So big ideas 2021. First of all, I just want to remind people that all your research is on your website, along with all your trades. I mean, everything is there, people, so you can go and click and read the whole thing. We're going to go through a couple more of the big ideas, though, and I want to talk about crypto. We've got number 6 and 7, Bitcoin's fundamentals and Bitcoin preparing for institutions. So, you've got a lot of fans in the crypto space. I want to know what you think here. And of course, Bitcoin, some people think, look, it's already hit its highs for 2021, the high water mark of above 40,000. What's Ark's thinking here?
We do not agree with that. And what's been interesting this time around is if you look at Google search trends for Bitcoin or Bitcoin's price against the Bitcoin price itself, you'll find that there's not a lot of speculative activity by that measure. In fact, in 2017, they were 1 for 1 together, but it has been pretty quiescent until maybe very recently, but throughout last year. And so that gave us a lot of comfort. We believe that the institutional behavior and moves recently have been fascinating. We have been expecting institutions to start moving into Bitcoin and other crypto assets, but primarily Bitcoin, the most secure of the blockchains, because if you look at the correlation of Bitcoin's performance relative to any other asset class, it has the lowest correlation, meaning if you buy some Bitcoin, you will further diversify your portfolio and increase your returns with lower risk.